Hey guys, Paladin here. Now, to make a video that's not a rant video, cough last video, cough cough. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about WWE 2K14, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. Now, the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and say is people need to quit bitching. That's rule number one right now. Now that all the information of the game is out, and the game comes out in 9 more days, I can tell you every last thing about the game that has come out so far, and I'm going to give my opinion on it. Now, I've got the site popped up right in front of me. I was originally making this video and I took the time to type in and do all the other stuff during the video, and it was just a big waste of time, but now I have the site sitting in front of me. Now, first thing I'd like to bring up is the game looks kind of like, or a lot like, to WWE 13. I was gonna say 2K13. That wouldn't make sense. It looks a lot like WWE 13. I'm going to explain why it does, and a lot of people still don't know why it looks the same. THQ, which are the original people besides Ukes that worked on the game. THQ had the game in production for about a good 5 months max. I'd say a little bit less, but for a good couple of months. All right. Now, when THQ, when shit hit the fan for THQ, when they went ahead and they're just gone, and 2K took over, 2K was working on whatever THQ had to offer, because if they would have restarted production for the game and everything and worked on everything and made their own new engine and all that stuff, the game would be delayed and we would have 2K15. They wouldn't even call it 2K14. They wanted to give us a game this year, okay? So they wanted to go ahead and just work with whatever THQ already had brewing up, and they just tweaked it a lot. And I mean a lot, because I'm going to explain what they've done to the game that's a lot different from WWE 13. The game, THQ, when they were working on it, they already had the character models and the graphics and everything all set up, and they were using their own engine and all that other stuff. And 2K, saw that and everything, and they were like, okay, let's not delay a game or anything. Let's just bring the fans something this year, and let's go ahead and just roll with it. But what they've done is they've improved a lot of character models. I mean, The Rock looks a shit ton better. If you think he looks the same from last year's or the year before, he does not. He looks a lot better. He has more defined muscles. The people at THQ always kind of gave him, no abs. The man has abs, and they never give him abs. Now he has abs. And he looks a bit more diesel than how he usually looks in 2K14. He looks a bit more muscular, and he's supposed to. He's a really big dude. And his face model looks a lot better. It looks a lot better. Compared to WWE 12, it looks a lot better. 13 and 14, they're kind of similar, but there's, I'm not mainly counting the beard, by the way, guys. I'm talking literally how his face looks. It looks a little different. In WWE 12, they really just it really didn't look like him. He looked kind of Asian, I think, actually, if I remember correctly. I think The Rock is part Asian, but not that much. But moving on, so they've changed a couple. Actually, I'd say about half of the character models, to be honest. They changed about a good half of the character models, improved on hair, and a bunch of other things. And it was just, I like the trailer, man. The first trailer that popped up, I was like, wow, this actually looks really nice. It looks similar to the last game, but it looks nice. Now, another thing that they've done is they've corrected a lot of entrances. Oh my goodness. There are some reused, but there are a lot more that are not reused. There are a lot more done completely from scratch and done better. I'm so happy that they've done this. They've improved a bunch of the entrances. They even gave Randy Orton. Everybody's happy about this, by the way. Randy Orton, when he was the Legend Killer and stuff like that, they put his music from when he was like that in the game. It was awesome. They have Randy Orton's Legend Killer music in there. Was it Shine in Your Light, something like that? I can't remember the name of the song, but you know the hey, you know the one that starts out like that. I don't, you know. Moving on though. They've also added something that I like a little bit about the game is that they have idle gestures that the characters do. Like after you perform a move, you know, your character will do like a gesture and he'll be like, "Come on," or you know, "Come here," or something like that with his hands and stuff. They're not random either. They're smart gestures. Whenever your character performs a move, he will do a gesture after the move is done. Like, he's not going to do it while you're getting punched in the face, so you can't do anything while you're getting punched in the face. They've improved a lot of the move sets, too. There's character-specific moves now, which is really great. Dolph Ziggler has that elbow drop that he does over and over again. He has his own little super kick that he does and stuff, because Dolph is really good at kicking people in the fucking face. It's just they've made a bunch of tweaks to the game. Moving on, something that I'm just-tastically happy about is that they've included 100 creative character slots. 100. I still kind of wish that it was I wish that it was unlimited, like, because, you know, you have a big-ass hard drive. You might as well have as many character slots as you want. But now it's double the amount, at least. At least they gave us more. It's 100 creative character slots. They knew that those slots get filled up fast when you're in community creations. You know, you're just downloading things that other people have made, and you're enjoying that stuff. And all of a sudden, you hit the cap, and you're at 50. You can't even make some of your own wrestlers because you've been downloading other people's wrestlers. Or you've been making so many of your own wrestlers. I don't understand why you'd make 50 wrestlers, but you've been making so many of your own wrestlers that you don't have enough space for just other stuff. That's perfect. I love that. I love that there's more slots. I'm a person that downloads a lot of characters, and I like to make characters at the same exact time. That's awesome. Speaking of character creation, they have superstar heads now, which is very awesome. You can make a created character and have a preset face. Well, actually, a preset body, actually. Sort of. Because we'll get into that in a second. But you have their preset skin color, their preset face is there, like... So in create a character, you go ahead and you put CM Punk's head on a created character's body, and you can make CM Punk fat. You can give him another costume. And the awesome thing about the costume thing, by the way, is that you can actually, instead of saving it as a character slot, you actually can save it as another attire. It's awesome. It takes up I don't think it takes up an attire slot, like when you go to Superstar Threads. But speaking of Superstar Threads, they've even improved that. I mean, there's so many improvements to the game compared to WWE 13. They've added new OMG moments, which are awesome, by the way. The DDT. I'm saying that right now, right? Okay, the DDT to the apron is awesome. The kick to the head to the pole is awesome. The John Cena double attitude adjustment is awesome. The Ryback double shell shock is awesome. Kane's double choke slam is in the game, which is pretty awesome. I hope Undertaker can do that too. He better be able to. It's just awesome that these things are in the game. What else can we talk about here? Create a belt. You can create your own belt now. They give you a couple preset belts, and you can create your own belt. That's awesome. It's like SmackDown vs. Raw 05. I'm going to say 05 because if I just say SmackDown vs. Raw, I'm not being specific, and I'm not telling you which version of the game. There's no number for that game, so if I just say SmackDown vs. Raw, you'll get confused. But, so they've done that. And it's just... Actually, I can actually click here, right here, and I'll load up the gameplay improvements. You know, they changed strikes. Combos are quicker and snappier. Let's see here. Landing a combo strike will put your opponent in a groggy state. I think that was in 13, but they're saying making what the fuck? Grog. Anyways, making groggy grapples appear easier, appear earlier and more frequently. Um, there's a starting up animation for when you run. This leads to a more natural looking match, which is it's also more difficult to spam running attacks. Which, thank God, me and my friend, we were playing the Royal Rumble on freaking WWE 13. Maybe it was 12 actually too, but it doesn't matter. Both 12 and 13 had the same running mechanic. In 12 or 13, whatever we were playing, in the Royal Rumble, me and him were the last two people, right? And he had one of the Road Warriors. I can't remember which one. And he kept shoulder bumping me over and over and over and over again because he knew that I was going to win. So he just kept spamming that so nobody won. Eventually I did win the match, but it's because I had to really time, because it's so ridiculous. Like, you have to really time the shoulder tackle in the game, by the way, because it's just so annoying to reverse. But they fixed that. I'm happy about that. No more spamming for him. They've changed the reversal system up a little bit. The never-ending reversal fest is now officially pretty much gone. It's kind of harder to reverse, I heard, in this game. But it's to give it to a bit more of a challenge. It took me a really long time to get to WWE 13 and 12's reversal system. I just thought it was annoying, especially 12's. You know, there's the catapult finishers. That is awesome. The catapult finishers are just... I gotta turn my phone back on here. It's like trying to die on me. Okay, there we go. The catapult finishers, you can throw a person up in the air and use your finisher. That's just awesome. The new OMG moments, like I said. 2 counts. 2 counts are back in the game. Holy shit. Every single time when I pin somebody, it would either be 1 or 3. It'd be either I don't get it at 1 or I win. That's it. That's it. There would never be an awesome, like, 1, 2, and then the person kicks out. Never happens anymore. Unless you're playing with your friends and not against a computer. It's ridiculous. I'm so happy that that's back. What else is in the game? It is... Oh, yeah! Let's talk about game modes. 30 years of WrestleMania mode. This is kind of like the Attitude Era, only it's, about 30 years of WrestleMania. I'm saying about because technically WrestleMania 30 hasn't happened yet. So you can't really count that as 30 years. It's technically 29, but they're going to say 30 to make it sound better. 30 years of WrestleMania mode brings back some of the greatest matches of all time in WrestleMania. Are we good here? Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Every 30 years of WrestleMania match. So we've got Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd. I personally have not watched that match, so I can't say if it's good or not. I apologize. I haven't watched Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. Macho Man versus Randy Savage. Or Macho Man versus Randy Savage. What the fuck? Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat. These are the golden era matches. I haven't really watched them now. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant is in here. That is a completely non-forgettable match. Everybody loves that match. I didn't see Macho Man versus Ted DiBiase. Or, these a lot of the Golden Age ones I haven't really watched. But there's Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan. There's Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan. Macho Man versus Ric Flair. Yokozuna versus Bret Hart. And the new generation here, we've got Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. We've got Yokozuna versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Again? Is that again? Yeah, that's again. Undertaker versus King Kong Bundy. I saw that one. It was kind of slow, but Uh, Shawn Michaels versus Diesel. A lot of these are good ones, other than the Undertaker one that I announced. Undertaker versus Diesel is a good one. Shawn Michaels versus Brett is just amazing. Stone Cold versus Brett. You've got Kane versus The Undertaker. You've got Stone Cold versus The Rock. You've got a triple threat between The Rock, Triple H, and Mick Foley. Got The Rock versus Austin. Rock versus Hogan. You've got Chris Jericho versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Jericho. Rock versus Austin. Cena versus Show. Now, an interesting one that's in here is Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. That is an interesting one because if you remember, that match was not the best of matches. It wasn't really that great. It actually was terrible. Let's just say that. It was flat out terrible. It was a horrible match. Besides the end when Austin, stunned both of them. That WrestleMania actually wasn't even really that great. There were, 2 good matches and then everything else sucked. But they put it in here so you can do the match yourself. That way you can improve the match. That way, you can recreate it if they actually fought seriously. And, I think that's an awesome addition that they did that. JBL versus John Cena was another great match. Mick Foley versus Edge is a really great match. Batista versus The Undertaker is a great match. Shawn Michaels versus Cena. Flair versus Michaels. John Cena versus Triple H versus Orton is a great match. Edge versus Big Show versus Cena. You got Orton versus Triple H. Edge versus Jericho. Batista versus Cena. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. I'm kind of mad that both of them aren't in the game. It's just 26. Edge versus Del Rio. Miz versus Cena. Triple H versus Undertaker. I'm kind of mad that both of them aren't in the game. It's just WrestleMania 29. You've got Edge versus Punk. You've got The Rock versus John Cena. You've got Punk versus Undertaker. 29. I'm sorry. 28 was Triple H and Undertaker. I apologize for that. And then you got Brock Lesnar versus Triple H and Rock versus Cena. Again, those are all the matches. A lot of those matches are really great. I'm happy that they've added this mode. There's even defend the streak mode with Undertaker. You play as Undertaker and you defend your streak versus a ton of people. And then there's defeat the streak where you fight a very, very overpowered Undertaker and you try to beat him, which I think is actually awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of new game info. Game mechanics. I just think the game's gonna be fine, man. It's gonna definitely do fine. I really could care less that the I'm trying to see here, so let me see. Oh wow. So WWE 12 after 2K14, I was about to say 13. After 2K14 comes out, WWE 12 will not have any more online support. All right, but anyways, yeah, it's just all the modes in the game and the improvements that they've made. I could care less about graphics right now. I'm glad that the gameplay is improved. I'm glad mechanics are better. I'm glad that there's all these new modes that should have been in the game, still should have been in the game. They were in the games before, just got pushed back in the game. I'm glad that there's a lot of innovative things coming to this game, and there's a lot of things that were from past games, like I just said, coming back to the game. I think it's going to be fine, man. I'm going to pick it up and definitely enjoy it. I actually have the Phenom edition pre-ordered because American Badass Undertaker is awesome, and it comes in an awesome little tin coffin thing. I think the game's going to be awesome. I've said that like 3 times already, but I'm just trying to point out, guys, is that you're looking too hard at graphics. Just pay attention to the game mechanics and everything that's been improved. It outweighs the way the game looks. So please just buy the game, enjoy it, borrow it from a friend, and enjoy it, because I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see differences. And yeah, that's my opinion on the game. Thank you very much for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And remember, guys, stay sexy. Peace.